Today we're going to turn this globe into this. Into a spooky diver. So, first thing we want to do is we need to get our globe into some semblance of diver helmet shape. Fortunately, we can use the right here where the axes. That was the globe.
It was the chair.
We can do one down here, and then we can use the equator and the prime meridian or something. And then we can do the face, which we want to do pretty big, and then two side ding-dongs. And that's where, whoa, my skull fell over. That's where these rubber grommets come in. So I got this idea from Instructables, and I'll leave a link in the description to give credit where credit's due. And so I'm going to use these guys as the side ding-dongs, and if it needs a top ding-dong, then I'll do a top ding-dong too. But you can kind of see where we're going here with this. So let's go ahead and pop these out. Now, these guys are 4-inch rubber ding-dongs, right? So grasp your mind around the fact that they're rubber ding-dongs. And what we're going to do is use our hole saw kit. Now, this guy here has a large one. So we have a 4-inch and we have a 5-inch. And so it looks like, oh, it's so greasy. It's so greasy. So if I do this, it's going to be just small enough to where it's not going to fit. This looks like the 5-incher. Yeah, this is the 5-incher. So if we use the 5-incher appropriately, then we can shove our rubber into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it weird, dude. It's just a scuba hat. We're in the like feel good stage because this is actually looking like a diver. I just need to create like the harness thing that goes over the chest and shoulders. But we'll get into that later. But I did want to talk about a couple things that you need to keep in mind where using the North and South Pole as a guide for your hole saw bits is really good. But just remember to brace yourself against that if you're using the hand drill, because the power of that power drill, like it'll kick and you don't want to like bust your wrist or whatever. So like just be sure and keep that in mind because you don't want to hurt yourself. The other thing though too is that like whenever I was going through and I was doing the equator bits, it's just kind of held together with a cardboard band on the inside, and I wound up breaking one of those. Not a big deal. I just used some handy dandy wood glue and just on the inside so that we're going to paint it anyway, so who cares? You know what I mean? The other thing too is that the bottom, like in the South Pole, I busted it with a 1-inch hole saw bit because I have a 1-inch PVC pipe that's going through the spine of the pool noodle skeleton rib section. And the reason for that is twofold. 1, to support the helmet, and 2, to support the spine, because I don't want it to be like I don't want him to be like a zombie type dude. I mean, I guess that could be kind of cool, but like if they're just like leaning and you have to like look underneath to see the skull, like that kind of defeats the purpose. Unless he was leaning back, like he's getting his lean on, you know what I'm saying? Like Fat Joe or whatever. Dating myself here again. Anyways, moving on. We're going to talk about the shoulder section next. And for this, I'm just using like some scrap cardboard, like everybody gets Amazon Prime or whatever. Like, not that they need a shout out because they have like a billion, bajillion, zillion dollars. But I'm just going to basically get a rough harness section just to kind of go over the shoulder bits because, let's face it, the pool noodle neck is like a giraffe. And we want to kind of cover that part up, but also maintain some semblance of diver helmet here. You know what I mean? The other thing too is that I noticed that like a bunch of the pictures online, they have like a little air valve in the side. I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm sure you get the point by now. But if we utilize like some of the things whenever I did like, you remember this little dude? You know, I have some, holy cow. I gave him like a little metal helmet to go with his little samurai mask. I was just like, doing some copper chasing. I don't know. I didn't put that into a video because I didn't assume anybody cared. And also it's tiny and it looks really creepy. Being the strategic hoarder that I am, I have this little piece right here, which is going to be the air valve. And that just actually came from a broken piece of the bandsaw for one of the covers. And so going in my NFG section, I was able to pick that up, as well as this little piece right here, which is part of a soap dispenser. It's a screw-on piece. However, the two don't mesh very well. So I had to take a file and get in there to make sure that the two just kind of press fit together. And then in order to attach this little fella right here to the actual mask itself, I'm going to use a 1-inch hole saw bit, and you'll notice that it's a little bit smaller, and that's intentional. The reason being is because I wanted it to just screw in place, again, without having to use any glue or anything. So now that we have the bulk of the build ready to rock, it's time for some primer. So I'm going to use this gray spray paint primer and give it a good coat. That way I can start working on the patina. Now the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to take some other spray paint cans and I'm going to use this teal color as well as this like John Deere green color. And the reason that I'm using those is that I'm just randomly spraying those on. I don't even care like if I think there's even one part where like there's spatter as opposed to spray, and that's totally fine because I'm going for complete randomness on this patina part, like aged copper would, you know? So after those colors go ahead and dry, I'm gonna use this copper spray paint here and just give it a real good once over. And what I wanna do is I want to incorporate as much of the copper as I can onto the surface without covering up the teal and the green so that it looks a little bit more tarnished and worn, as it should. Now I got a little bit ahead of myself here because I wanted to switch gears. And the reason being is because I didn't really have the same kind of thing that the dude in the Instructables had as far as the stove drip trays. And those drip trays, like, provided I could find those, but they were either not the right kind, they went all the way down around the burner, or they were made for like square or whatever, and it just didn't look right. It just didn't feel right. And so taking inspiration from this little doorknob, I was like, well, if there's like a mesh as opposed to like just a flap, then let's go ahead and try that. So in order to get this piece right here, all I did was I took a little strip of cardboard and then I just put some grooves into it about every inch or so. That way I can glue it from the inside and it'll still protrude out like you see here. And then for the seam, I just went over it with duct tape. Now once that was in place, I was wondering, you know, how am I going to get the mesh here and how is it going to stay? So what I wound up doing was I have plenty of wire hangers from, you know, different garage sales or getting clothes or whatever. And I found a lot of use of them in the shop here. One of them being is that I'm going to use them for the mesh. And so what I wanted to do here is I'm just going to use a semi-round piece. And what I wound up doing was using the sledgehammer. But it actually worked out very well. So I can take this and get the rings and I'm just going to overstep like an overlap where those pieces are so that whenever I do snap them together, it's going to be on the same plane that you see here. And all I did was take a little piece of tape and you're barely even going to see it anyways. It's going to be dark. It's a Halloween prop. It's fine. It's a blemish that I can definitely live with. So then once that's in place here, I figured, well, now that I have the little crosshatch, how am I going to get it onto this thing? And I figured, well, if it's copper and I have copper strands and copper wire, I can just kind of loop it together around the inside of this guy to where it'll be in place. And then I'll just twist it to hold it steady. So with that in place, now it's actually like fully coming together. And I'm so pumped at like how it turned out because now it actually looks like a real diver's helmet. And in the dark, again, nobody's really going to tell. They're just going to see like a dead diver with a skull inside. Speaking of which, it's time to start thinking about the final touches here. And the thing with the skull is that I'm just going to use, like I showed earlier, just a plastic skull. And I'll just take a little zzz, zzz, down to the bottom so that it can snugly fit on the PVC pipe that's run on the inside of there. Now, one thing that you'll notice, and I had to really struggle with this part because like after a while it just started like flopping around. And again, I want it to be like, you know, not quite zombie-like, but more just, I'm like a dead guy, you know? So I just took a little strip of pool noodle and I just kind of shoved it in there. And then it's really tough to like try to wrap the pool noodle. And if I had enough and just being lazy at this point, I just wanted it to be done. And also not being pool season anymore also put a little bit of a detriment to this plan, is that, you know, you would just take a piece that would wrap fully around the neck area and call it done. But all I had was like this tiny sliver. And I had to actually use these deep reach tool that I had created. So with that deep reach tool, I was able to sort of like surgically push a piece of black duct tape around and then pull it with the deep reach tool so that it kind of pseudo stayed in place at a little bit heightened elevation of the neck slash PVC. So now this guy is not like flopping, which became more of an issue whenever I started to put the grommets on and finalize this thing. And if you're going to learn from my mistake, I highly recommend that you kind of keep maybe some, you know, this is where the door situation would have been more conducive to making changes on the inside. Because once it's done, it's like, you know, once it's in, you're pregnant at that point. You can't go back without ripping it apart, which, oops, you're pregnant, you know, like, oops. So the skull really got a little bit more, like it was on there and it was staying put with just the little drill hole But then like, I guess it just being like really lightweight plastic, it started to lean because the Gorilla Glue started dripping for wherever I put the grommets on. And in terms of getting those grommets on, before I did so, I just cut a couple of circles. No, not a couple. It was three. And I just like started doing this with the hole saw bit, and that was a terrible idea. All it did was just sputter around on top and skim the surface, and it never actually bit into the plastic, or the acrylic, rather. And so, with that in mind, I was like, you know what? It's so thin, it's like a millimeter thick, if that. And so I just took some shears to it, and then they just press fit right into the inside of... There's like a little recess here that it can just kind of... And it literally just snapped into place, and it was very, very satisfying, let me tell you. It's like snapping into a hot dog, you know, you get the snap. People are like, you know the snap? Or like a pickle or something. It's like really delicious. I'm like kind of hungry, so like, you know, let's move past it. But anyways, I got this guy situated, and then I just kind of wet the surface here with a little bit of the old spray bottle and a wet rag. I got that surface wet, and it was mainly just like the inside of, I don't know why I'm using my neck. I didn't cut my neck. It's the globe. And so that really helped the Gorilla Glue stick, because you have to wet it in order for it to start curing or whatever. So I did that, and then now at this point, it's like the point of no return, because this guy's situated, and granted, I could go in there and just untwine it, but let's face it, sometimes I get lazy. And then these guys are in, this guy is in, and so now it's like fully in place. For the little chest harness piece here, all I did was just take another little piece of cardboard. I cut out a rough shape, and then I just sort of like made the neck squishy with some extra pieces of pool noodle. So at this point, you're probably wondering, like, didn't she say all you had was like a tiny donut? And the answer was yes, after I did this. So then I was like, oops, I probably should have thought of that ahead a little bit better. But I didn't, and it still kind of works out. Isn't that right, Fred? No, your name is George. Right now, the last thing is that I had this little tiny piece of LED. This is just like one of those rinky-dink dollar, you know, things you get from the... It had like like a baby noodle, you know, like a baby pool noodle. And they're like this long, and it has like a little wire into it. You know what I'm talking about. That's one of those, and I figured like if I just disable the other ones, like there's a blue and a green, and the green like is flashing, but you can barely tell because the red is so intense, and that's what's up. The other thing too is that I took these orange, these are actually like pumpkins. They're like little pumpkins, but they're in the ribs. So like, you know, nobody's going to inspect. And if you're going to go in and inspect, you'd be like, oh, are you using pumpkin lights, huh? Not very realistic. And it's like, dude, it's a prop, dude. Like, calm down, please. So that's on the inside. The original intention was that I was going to like basically make this tripod into legs, and then put some boots with some weights, and also make like a belt with some sinkers, so that like, you know, you like lead weight. Ooh, let me give you some, you know, cement shoes and drop you in the ocean. So that, whenever it started coming together with the coveralls and the fact that it was like real lean, like what? Like it's saying like, what did you say to me? Like that's the vibe that I got from looking at old George the diver. He's like, yo, like what are you, what are you coming to me and saying this? I don't believe me. Come on, dude. You know, like he's about to like, you know, throw down or whatever. And then like I showed it to my wife and my kid, and they were both like, what? Like, this is the diver? What? This is what you're making? Like, and I was like, you look like the dummy here. You look like the prop. Like, you know, don't give me shade or whatever. Like, what's up? This took a lot of time. But I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I could take that feedback, and then I started looking at it, and I was like, you know what? It does look like, it's a little weird. Looks a little weird. So at this point, basically because the time crunch of getting this ready to rock for Halloween and trick-or-treaters and all this kind of stuff, I'm thinking all I'm going to do is just leave it with this pipe right here and just drive it into the ground. And then we can like scatter some bones and stuff. Like I've got this hand, like we could like throw a hand. And then there's also like other like dollar store like bones and foot. There's like a foot. I'm trying to think of a Jerky Boys reference. What was that one where he's like, he's got an old foot.
Well, yes, he's got an old foot. A foot, like a dried foot.
I'm sorry, what do you mean a foot?
Bro, look at the camera. Come on now. Don't be camera shy. Come on, George. This thing is very top heavy, which like keep that in mind if you're going to build your own as far as like just the prop is concerned. You might want to put like a stick or something just to keep it like stiff. Stiffen it up. Tighten.
A little tighter.
To get back to business all I did was I took a piece of EMT conduit that I had laying around. So this guy can completely detach. Oh, I'm going to hit the light. Careful though, George. Careful there, George. Come on, George, get the, what the fuck are you doing? Get off of the tripod. So like, yeah, he's like, hey, dude. I don't want to get too crazy because it's cardboard. So like, that's what's up. I'm going to leave it to it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, I should have made a skeleton hand to say peace, because that would have been hilarious. That's the kind of humor I have anyways. Anyways, I appreciate you sticking with me, and check out these bloopers. Happy Halloween. And let's face it, this little guy, it looks like it would be like the air valve. We'll just have to like, you know, that's the sound that the air makes when it's escaping. Either way, so maybe that's how they died. I don't know, I'm no deep sea diver. Ah, my balls. Why do I keep smacking my balls? Oops. I forgot my string. I'm giving her all she's got. It's like super sweet, and like with that in place, like it really actually feels like a dimer's helmet? A dimer, like I'm throwing dimes? You throwing down dimes? You dime me out, bro. No. Well, that's how he died.